Hello and welcome back. I'm Tahir Kashif. Last time we explored some paranormal happenings in Alabama. Today we're going to continue going state by state exploring the paranormal. Today we're in Alaska. We're going to Anchorage's West High School to look at the tale of a ghostly woman in white who's been haunting the school for decades. She's been spotted on and off for a while now. Sometimes she stands mute, sometimes she flees through the corridors, and sometimes she's seen lurking backstage or in the basement. She's been seen so often that she even seems to have given one skeptic second thoughts about his viewpoint. This is West High School theater teacher David Block speaking now, and he's quoted as saying, "I've never ever seen a ghost in there. I can't even say I believe in ghosts. I haven't ever seen her, but enough people have seen her that I have to believe something is going on." Mr. Block is quoted as saying that the sightings have a remarkable consistency. Always female, always elusive, always wearing white clothing, and the reports come from a variety of people: school officials, students, visitors. They've all contributed to the unsettling reports. Some witnesses claim that they've never heard of any ghost in the West High School in advance of their weird encounter. But all of them ended up seeing something and believing something is there. Another haunting in this same high school might include a former janitor, long deceased, who has been seen persistently sweeping the lobby when no one should be present. There have been reports of footsteps tip-tapping around the corner of empty halls, slamming doors, and lights switching on and off by themselves. All of these are signs that you might not be as alone as you think, especially after hours. But it is the unknown lady in white who people run into most frequently. A few years ago, a student stage manager saw a girl on an off-limits backstage door during a dress rehearsal. And the student got up to confront the girl who was not supposed to be there. When he opened the door to an alcove to confront her, to talk to her about it, nobody was there. In another allegedly particularly frightening encounter, two assistant principals and a security guard were rattled when something in white flashed by them in the stage. The stage behind the corridor to the balcony. Oh, I'm sorry. In the balcony. Crap. Two assistant principals and a security guard were rattled when something in white flashed by them in the strange narrow corridor behind the balcony. And according to Block, to this day, one of those assistant principals will not talk about what happened, and they refuse to discuss it. One girl recalls her brief encounter with a ghost. When entering the supposedly empty theater last year with the group, she saw a young woman wearing white clothes standing above them in the balcony, looking down. She turned to her friend and said, "Do you see her?" And that's when the figure simply vanished. To this day, sightings of the woman in white and other hauntings in West High School are still reported. From the school to the wilderness, we come to the tale of the Kushtaka. The Tlingit people speak of the Kushtaka. They're creatures with the faces of men but the bodies of otters. Oftentimes, they're described as malevolent, luring people to their death, or in some cases, stealing souls. In 1950, a prospector and fisherman by the name of Harry Kolb died, and his widow found a manuscript entitled "The Strangest Story Ever Told." Kolb's daughter promptly published his small book, and the story has become one of the best-known legends in Southeast Alaska. The story begins in 1900, when Kolb, then 19 years old, was living in a shack with 3 other prospectors in the village of Rangwell. All three were broke. One prospector, called Charlie in the story because he didn't want to be named, was given a tip by an old Tlingit man. There was a motherlode of gold in Thomas Bay, but the elderly man warned him not to go looking for it because that part of the country was haunted by evil spirits. Even if he tracked down the gold, it wouldn't do him any good. He would be haunted too. Charlie ignored the story, he ignored the warning, and he immediately set out for a canoe to find the gold. He paddled along the edge of the Stikine River Delta and beneath the Horn Cliffs before entering the steel-colored waters of Thomas Bay. Following the old Tlingit man's directions, he hiked up the Patterson River where the gold deposit supposedly lay. Weeks later, Charlie showed back up in Rangwell with nothing but a big hunk of quartz that was full of gold specks. He looked rough, like he was beaten. He was very haggard looking, and he wouldn't say a word, other than to ask for money to get a ticket on the first steamship to Seattle. Right before Charlie boarded, he vowed to never set foot in Alaska again. He told the other prospectors his story, and his story is as follows. Swimming up the ridge toward me from the lake were the most horrible creatures. I couldn't call them anything but devils, as they were neither men nor monkeys, yet looked like both. They were entirely sexless, their bodies covered in long coarse hair except where scabs and running sores had replaced it. Each one seemed to be reaching out for me, and striving to be the first one to get me. The air was full of their cries, and the stench from their sores and bodies made me faint. I forgot my broken gun and tried to use it on the first ones, and then I threw it at them and turned and ran. God, how I did run. I can feel their hot breath on my back. Their long, claw-like fingers scraped my back. The smell from their steaming, stinking bodies was making me sick, while the noises they made, yelling, screaming, and breathing, drove me mad. Reason left me. How I reached the canoe or hung on to that piece of quartz is a mystery to me. Culp and his partners decided to go to Thomas Bay to see for themselves, and most lived to regret their decision. Some of the men from the group claimed to have seen the devil creatures. Others went insane. Some simply disappeared. But you don't need to search back to the 1900s to find strange stories from the wilderness. One man relayed his dad's encounter. Decades ago, my dad, a very experienced outdoorsman, had what many locals would say was an encounter. He'd been hunting deer when a strange feeling overwhelmed him and he blacked out. I remember seeing a deer walking through the mist, and for some reason, I sat down at the base of a tree, he said. Sometime later, he woke up groggy. He was wandering deeper into the woods, clutching his rifle. His backpack, which contained all his hunting gear and survival gear, was gone. Other southeastern Alaskan hunters have similar stories. David Katsik, a Tlingit elder, told the story of shooting a deer and then spotting his dad and brother-in-law at the edge of the woods. They disappeared into the dark maze of the forest, and Katsik felt compelled to chase after them. He yelled at them to stop as he ran along a well-defined trail, but they wouldn't listen. Katsik suddenly snapped to and realized that he was clawing through a thicket of devil's club. The Kashtuka, he told me, had tricked him with an illusion of his family. Evidently, the Kashtuka can get into your mind and use what you value to lead to your doom. And that is a horrifying prospect. So, will you be visiting the Alaskan wilderness? I think this is where we'll leave it for now. Alaska is a great state for paranormal lore, and there's a lot that I did not cover, like the haunted Red Onion Saloon. I want to keep these episodes at a certain length, but already I'm thinking that with some of these states, that I'm going to double back and explore more of its haunted history and paranormal lore. If you enjoyed the video, please like it and share it. My goal is to get to 500 subscribers by, let's say, October. Until next time, all the best. Peace.